Welcome to this course on CATIA. As we all know, CATIA is actually a 3D modeling software. We'll be able to design and we'll be able to get that particular design into reality using the software CATIA. So not just by building and seeing whether that particular product is actually feasible in order to use, we'll be able to design that thing virtually using the software CATIA and then directly implement those designs by using the software CATIA. So that is what we will be able to get. So we'll be able to design any object, any particular product or any particular item using this particular software. And it is completely easy for you to understand the basics so that you'll be able to become a pro very easily. And that's exactly what I am trying to do here. So this course is completely for beginners where you actually have the desire to design and become a pro in this area. So if you're having that starting trouble, this is the perfect course for you where I am going to be dealing with all the basic tools, all the basic options and formulas which are available to you so that you can become a pro in designing, especially on the software CATIA. So let's go on and see what is the agenda or what are the topics that we are going to be covering in this particular course on CATIA. Starting with, we'll be understanding more on CATIA. What is CATIA? So just by knowing to design is not enough. So you need to be knowing what the software actually is. CATIA. What is CATIA? How will we be able to design? What are the domains in which these softwares are being used? So all those things are being dealt here, which is the industry which is inculcating more on CATIA, and what is job opportunity. All those things can be dealt to you in the first particular topic, that is what is CATIA. We'll be completely understanding on CATIA very much detail. Next, we'll be moving on to the software, that is CATIA. By the software, we'll be understanding the graphical user interface. Just by opening the software, we'll be given the screen and what are the options available there. So what are the toolsets available there? Where will we be able to get the options and what are the functions of that particular options as well? So we'll be getting used or getting familiarized with the software and how the software actually looks when we open the software. And next we'll be moving on to understanding 2D sketching toolboxes. So as I said before, 3D modeling, 2D and 3D comes, right? So without 2D modeling, you'll not be able to create any 3D models. So you need to be creating 2D sketches. So in order to create 2D sketches, you need to be knowing 2D sketching toolboxes. So what are the toolboxes available? Which all toolboxes are there in order to design 2D sketches? So by using all these toolboxes, what is the benefit? What is the advantage of using these toolboxes, or what are the uses of these toolboxes? So we'll be understanding all the toolboxes initially. And then after understanding the 2D toolboxes, we'll be moving on to implement 2D sketching. So how 2D sketching can be done. So we'll be implementing some sketches in the 2D model or 2D area as well. And then we'll be going with the 3D modeling. So in order to move with 3D modeling, we need to be first understanding the 3D modeling or 3D sketching toolboxes. So what are the toolboxes available for 3D modeling? Just as we did for 2D modeling. So just by understanding the 3D modeling toolboxes, then we'll be moving on to implement this 3D modeling. So how will we be able to sketch 3D models? All those things are going to be dealt with in this particular course, so that this is a complete basic course for any kind of beginners, and you will be having a firm grip on the basics so that you will be able to easily become a pro in all the other domains as well. Now let's start off this course by looking at the first topic that we are having in this particular course on CATIA. That is nothing but what is CATIA. So let us understand on more detail or more specifically on CATIA or what is CATIA. I've already briefly explained to you in a single sentence what is CATIA is, right? That is, it is a 3D modeling or 3D sketching software which is available to us. And that is not what it is exactly. So what are the advantages, what are the benefits, or which is the industry or which is the sector in which these softwares are employed? Let's see on all those things in this particular domain. That is, what is CATIA, or let us understand in more detail on CATIA. CATIA. CATIA is actually nothing but computer-aided three-dimensional interactive application. Did you understand anything out of it? I'm repeating to you. Computer-aided three-dimensional interactive application. So are you able to understand or are you able to notice something by mentioning this? Let me make it more clear for you. CATIA is actually computer-aided three-dimensional interactive application, as I have already told to you. What is so special about that? or what is so special about that particular sentence? It is actually the complete full form of CATIA. CATIA. Computer Aided Three-Dimensional Interactive Application. I hope you are able to understand what I have actually meant right now. And I'm really so sure that most of you hadn't actually know about this. Didn't actually know that there is a full form for CATIA or for the software CATIA. And most of the people who are actually working in the software still doesn't know on that. So that is the first thing which I would like to convey to you. That is one of the main sort of information which I would like to share with you by explaining what is CATIA. And what is it? It is actually one of the most leading 3D designing software which is available to us around the globe, right? And it is actually not just a simple tool or not just an basic tool which is enabling us to design or develop any product. It is not just a simple product, but also one of the most leading product or leading application or leading software which is available to us in order to create, design, implement this, model this, and come up with a particular product for that particular application or particular solution which that particular product solves. So we'll be able to design that particular product in whichever manner we are supposed to be doing. So that is what CATIA, the software CATIA, enables us. And we are able to implement CATIA in various domains, not just one particular domain, but in various domains. So what are the areas in which we'll be able to use or utilize, or what are the areas or segments in which CATIA is being employed in their business? So it ranges from many new products which we are able to see in day-to-day lives. So even from those particular products, ranging from those particular products to even the high sensitive products like aerospace, automobile, and these are the many other industries in which CATIA is actually being employed. So thereby you can understand that it is a simple tool in which we'll be able to implement designing for the day-to-day products which we actually see on a daily basis. And not just that, but also it will be able to perform complex designs which are to be incorporated in a higher sensitive industry like aerospace and automobile. So we know that aerospace is actually a very highly sensitive domain where where needs to be complete accuracy and all those standards needs to be kept, right? And that kind of a performance is being able to deliver by this particular software CATIA. That is nothing but computer aided three-dimensional interactive application. Now let's go to our next topic. That is nothing but CATIA GUI, graphical user interface. So GUI talks about what are the features which we are getting and where are we getting it. So what are the various options or what are the various tools which are available in graphical user interface in CATIA. So anyway, in order to get that tools or in order to use the tools, we need to be knowing where the tools are and how we should be using them and how does it appear to us. So it is just about getting familiarized with the software and how we'll be able to communicate or interact with the software. So that is what we are going to see in this particular module, that is graphical user interface. Let's move on to the software and see regarding this. So this is how it looks when you actually open the software, CATIA. So when you open the software CATIA, this is the kind of user interface they are actually bringing into you. So here we can see that the selection happened here is product. So product number one. So that is what is being opened when you actually open the software CATIA. So that is not what we require. So when we open the software CATIA, this is what we are getting, but this is not what we actually require. So we can close that. And when we close it, we'll be getting a screen like this. So we'll be having a start, file, edit, view, insert, tools, windows, help, and all those options available to us, right? So you might be thinking, what is to be done here? So there's nothing to be done. We are not having any tools here. Only these kind of menu buttons or menu options are there. So here what we need to be doing is start, mechanical design, part design. So we'll be talking on part design in this particular tutorial or in this particular course. So what you need to do after opening the software CATIA is that you need to be closing the product file which is completely open to you while you open the software. You just close that and then move to the start button and the mechanical design, part design, because part design is what we are going to be covering in this particular topic. So part design. So after clicking on part design, they'll be asking for the part name. So what is the name you want to be saving that particular file? So I'm just simply going ahead with whatever the name is, whatever the default name is coming. So part one it is. So I'm pressing on OK, and this is what we are getting. So now we are in the platform CATIA, and this is how the user interface looks like. So as usual, as we already had, we are having the main options here, which is completely the same. Start, file, edit, view, insert, tools, windows, and help. So this is what we already had, right? So apart from that, what else is available to us? So we are having a lot many modules or options here, and we're having a lot many options here as well. So in the borders, the right side towards the end and towards the lower corner also, you will be able to see a lot of options available to you. And towards the left here, we are having a tree. This can be called a specification tree or simply a tree. So here we will be able to access all whatever we have created till now. So if we are creating part by part, part number one, then part number two, then part number three. So if you're going like that, we'll be able to get that thing done, or that thing, we'll be able to achieve, or we will be able to retrieve all those things by clicking on or by checking on this decision tree. So that is what decision tree is all about. So it actually tells you what have you created, and how the actual structure of engagement is actually going on. And if in case you want to edit all those things, you will be able to come back to this particular tree and then select whatever we need to open, and we'll be able to edit in that particular tree, and we'll be able to do that in detail when we're actually doing or working on the software CATIA. So we have seen, this is how it looks like. And before directly moving on to the software and analyzing or studying how to use the software, let me tell you one thing. So if you are actually designing a one particular item, let it be any object, let it be a bottle, let it be a ball, let it be any particular item, just imagine one particular item in your mind. So for particular example, I'm taking a bottle here. So if you need to actually design a bottle, actually need to implement the design of a bottle by actually making it into a product, how can you make that design into a product? So there are actually two methods in which we'll be able to do. Anyway, in both those methods, you need to be having a design, basic design. So how are we making this particular design to understand that this is how we require? So this design needs to be transported to the machine, so which is actually manufacturing it. It can be a CNC machine, or it can be also 3D printing machine. So these are the two kinds of manufacturing process which we will be able to do. So in CNC machine, what is being done? So in order to carve a bottle, or in order to get the product ready, in CNC, what we are doing is we carve out the exterior part. We just remove the parts or excess parts so that we will be getting the finished product by removing. So that is material removal process. So here the thing is that you will need to be eliminating, or the kind of waste you are getting in CNC machine is very high, because you're carving all those things based on the designs which we require. So that is eliminating, or material removal. And when it comes to 3D printing, it is actually material addition. So based on the designs, we'll be getting that particular model made using 3D printing. So we'll be using all those particular materials, and the designs or the product in which it is to be made, depending upon the designs, we'll be able to create that by adding material. So based on the design, the production is being done, and that is how we are able to create materials or items using 3D printing. That is nothing but in CNC it is material removal process, and in 3D printing it is material addition process. And in order for that particular machine to understand that this is the design that the machine needs to be printing out, or this is the design that the CNC machine needs to be carving out. So how is the machine, or how is the equipment knowing that this is what I need to be doing? So simply by exporting this particular model, or this particular design which you are creating, will not be doing. So this particular design needs to be converted, or needs to be modulated into a different kind of format. That is nothing but G codes or M codes. So based on the designs which we are doing, we'll be able to do that. So these designs whichever we are making in this particular platform needs to be converted to G codes or M codes, and that can be installed, or that file can be downloaded and then pasted onto that machine, so that they'll be knowing this is the kind of product I am requiring. So they'll be able to understand the complete design by giving the G codes. You can simply download that file in a pen drive or an SD card, and then copy paste that particular file to your machine in which you are actually making that particular product. It can be 3D printer, or it can be a CNC machine.